Here's every core mindset that 1 million plus business owners all have in common. So the first core mindset that 1 million plus business owners have is that they work for the business. They work to serve and support the business, not serve and support their ego. And I can speak from vast experience of both. I've definitely fallen in the ego trap before as a business owner. But here's one thing that all business owners, when they get to 1 million plus and they're sort of building out a bit more of an empire, it's got to become about the service to the business and the organization. It's no longer about you or me as the owner of the business. Small business owners, we're kind of terrible for it. Our ego gets a bit dented and a bit hurt when it stops being all about us and we're the center of attention and we're the whole business in a sense. We do everything, we're involved in everything, we lead everything, we make all the decisions. But to get to 1 million plus, you've got to step out of that. You've got to shift your thinking in that. And so that first core mindset is super critical. If you are not at 1 million plus yet and you want to be, start harnessing this mindset. You've got to catch yourself and watch carefully when your ego wants to control and you want to make it about you and your needs being met, and switch that to, how do I be a support for the business? How do I actually build the business and the team and the infrastructure so it's all about the business succeeding and the people in it, of course, versus just me succeeding? There's your first one. Here's the second core mindset that all 1 million plus business owners have. They play the long game. It's really interesting. I remember going to a Tony Robbins seminar. Tony Robbins, to give you an idea, if you don't know who he is, his company's turned over 12 billion last year. So if you want to follow someone in business, there's plenty of people worse to figure out business than through Tony. 12 billion turnover, mega business, very, very clever, switched on dude in many ways. And he taught me years ago when I went to one of his seminars about 25 years ago, that the secret to successful people is they think in terms of decades, not even years. Like, the most successful people are 30, 40, 50 years ahead in their planning and their vision of where they are now. And that might sound wild to you when you're setting your 1 month goal of 3 months and 6 months and 12 months. But the long game is really critical. So if business owners who are million plus and they're building something, they've got through that initial stagnant phase where you get to like 2, 3, 400,000 and you get stuck there, because to get there, it was all about you and you just needed half a brain on you and a good work ethic and you could do it and you did everything and it worked and you got rewarded for doing everything. But then to go from 2, 3, 400 up to 1 million requires you to let go, you to step back and then bring other people in to take roles off you so you can elevate into more important roles in the business and what the business needs to grow. And it's all about playing the long game. When we get really clear on the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of the business, what it does ultimately is it takes a bit of pressure off as well. I speak to people all the time and they're just deeply focused on the next day and the next few days, and this ad has to perform and I have to achieve this and I've got to get there. And it almost feels like this short-term stress and pressure that we put ourselves under as business owners. Big players in business always think much longer term. They have a more relaxed approach to the whole thing generally because they're 10, 20 years down the line. And then when the little things don't work, which of course always happens in business, we always hit road bumps, things always break down, systems don't work anymore, we have challenges to face and people cause problems. And whenever that stuff shows up, it feels like a little bump because we're so far off in the future, the vision where we're going. You're like, okay, we lost someone or that system just crashed. We'll figure it out because we know where we're going. Generally, people who struggle are very short-term focused. The people that struggle the most, and I give you the example of the opposite of what Tony talks about, where I've seen people who really struggle in life, like literally just an absolute train wreck of a human, like on all levels, no relationships, no money, their health, or just absolutely messed up every area of life. It's like very often if you speak to them, they're just trying to get through the day. I used to work alongside a guy who he used to beg for money. He'd get paid and then 3 days later he was trying to get subs against his next wage. He was trying to get advances on his next wage off the boss because he'd just go out and spend it, drug addiction and gambling addiction. So like the worst case scenario, the shorter term your focus of just trying to get through the next day or week, the worse off we are in life. If we can extend that focus out, let's get clear. Where are we going in 5 years? Where are we going in 10? If you want to be really brave, where are we going in 20, 30? Watch what happens to your business as you shift into a much bigger game. And the third core mindset that all 1 million plus business owners have is speed over perfection. Perfection's a beast. I've talked about this before. Perfection will kill your dreams dead. If you're a perfectionist, Here's the thing, I'm gonna challenge you on this. Please stop saying you're a perfectionist. Perfectionism is fear wrapped up in something that doesn't feel as scary as being afraid. And when we're a perfectionist, we're literally defying reality, because you tell me what's perfect. I've never seen it. I've never come across it. I've done stuff for 30 years and I'm damn good at it. I've never reached perfection at it, ever or anywhere near, is what I feel, right? So if we're a perfectionist, we're living in an illusionary world that doesn't exist. Our goal, where all bigger business owners sit, is they err towards speed of action. They err towards action bias and they go quick. Like the most successful people I hang out with, and I'm very blessed to be coached by amazing people who are worth hundreds of millions and billions, and they execute fast. Now there is a caveat. If it's a big important thing, it's okay to take a bit of time, consult with the team and do whatever you need to do to come to the right decision. But generally, just get moving. You'll see the more successful someone is, the quicker they just make a decision and get moving into action. And they never ever rest on perfectionism. They never expect it. They never want it. They don't need systems in place. They don't need everything functioning. They're ready to pull the trigger now, get the thing moving. That's why they get to build the bigger business. And the fourth core mindset that all 1 million plus business owners have is they don't believe in failure. It doesn't faze them. They don't believe in it. They don't look at it. They don't care about it. They consider, and they might use different language. I've heard lots of different ways of this being expressed, but one of my favorites is you're either winning or you're learning. And so the people that have built 1 million plus businesses, they're not concerned about failing. They don't give a shit about what people think about them. They don't give a shit when it goes wrong. Well, they do a little bit, but they don't care that much. They just see the not going right. They just see that as another learning, another iteration of how we get there. First attempt, second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, fifth attempt, sixth attempt. Oh, sixth attempt, it kind of worked, great. Seventh attempt, oh, it works a bit better, great. That's how business works. So successful business owners live and operate in that space in their brain where they know mistakes and things not working is totally part of the game. And successful people have failed more times than unsuccessful people have even dared to think about trying, let alone trying. So if you want to build your business faster, please, courageously get into action and try stuff and stop worrying about things failing. Stop worrying about egg on your face. Stop worrying about what people around you think. Just go try it. I've been building my business now for 7.5 years. I've been in this industry for 25. I've had lots of successes, lots of failures where things haven't worked. And even recently, and we're pretty good at what we do now. We've got over 2,500 members. We turned over 2.5 million last year. We should hit 3.5, 4 million this year. We're doing great in the grand scheme of things. And even recently, I tried launching 2 new things simultaneously, and it would just put too much strain and pressure on things. We made a few mistakes, and we've paid a massive price. Like, stuff hasn't worked. We've had classes launch and didn't go how we wanted to, and we've had to reinvent and restructure. And it's frustrating, don't get me wrong. I'm not at this wonderful elevated phase where I go, I feel great about it all, no problem. I feel the frustration, but I just don't look at it as failure. I don't worry what people think. I don't care. I just go, okay, that didn't work. That kind of sucked. That was a bit fucking annoying. Let's crack on. Let's figure it out. What went wrong? What can we tweak and refine? Let's get to the next level. That's what all 1 million plus business owners do. They don't believe in failure. They just believe in feedback. They're either winning or they're learning, getting feedback and moving forwards. And the fifth core mindset that all 1 million plus business owners have in common is choosing a positive, empowering meaning. Now, not all business owners are great at this. It's definitely a habit to develop. But if you want to go further, faster, if you want to build quicker and build your dream business and have all the trappings that come with it and fulfill this beautiful vision and change people's lives and do all this cool stuff that I'm sure you are after if you're watching this video, then you've got to learn the skill and develop the muscle and the skill of choosing a meaning for circumstances when they show up that's empowering and beneficial to you and the people around you. Here's what I mean. One thing happens, 2 people can look at that thing, I'm sure you've heard this, and they can have very different responses to it. This person can think it's hideous and horrible and disgusting. This person can think it's a gift from God and it's there to serve them. Like 2 people looking at the same experience and circumstance, having 2 totally different experiences or reactions to it. So our reaction then is very much about our internal world. It's about our programming, about our beliefs, about our insecurities, about our doubts and fears, about our culture. It's about all the stuff that's inside of us. Thus, it's not necessarily really real. It's just a meaning that we attach to something. I heard a great story on this, and it was two twin brothers were interviewed, and one of them was an incredibly successful businessman, had built wonderfully successful business, made lots of money, beautiful family, wonderful wife, deeply connected with his kids, went to church, served his church, just by all measure, like really healthy and fit and well, by all measures living a great life. And his twin brother was an alcoholic, struggled to tie down a job, couldn't keep a relationship, was an absolute wreck of a human being, like on all metrics, not doing well as a human being. And they interviewed these two twins, and when they said, like, why do you think your life has turned out the way it has, both brothers pretty much gave the exact same answer. It was like, well, how else would it turn out with the dad I had? And so they both had an alcoholic, abusive father, it turned out. And so the son who turned to alcohol and abuse and wrecked his own life believed that he'd become that way because of his dad. And the brother that had gone and built the success and been healthy and wonderful and never touched alcohol and served his community and had a beautiful family, he also believed it was because of his dad's actions why he became who he became. Isn't that interesting? So we always get to choose the meaning. I know it's kind of simple, but it's not simple in practice. Most people don't do this. So when a team member does something that upsets you, when the business doesn't go the way you want it to go, when the tough stuff shows up, when you want to get a complaint from a customer, how's about choosing a meaning that empowers you? How about you choose a meaning and say, okay, well, it's not ideal that this person's slagging off our organization and causing us these problems, but yeah, perhaps life has put this in my way so that I can learn and grow. Perhaps this is a skill I need to develop now. Perhaps we did misserve them a little bit. Perhaps there's a way we can refine and tweak and tighten the business to make sure this person doesn't have that experience again, even though maybe they've overreacted, but maybe there's something we can do to make ourselves better. Like, there's always a choice to choose. Do I want to choose a shit meaning or do I want to choose a good meaning? Someone pulls a face at you. You could choose to think that means that they are disgruntled with you, that they don't like you, that they're judging or critiquing you, or you could choose to believe that they weren't even thinking about you, they were in their own head thinking about something, and they were just pulling an involuntary facial expression that they weren't even aware of in relationship to the thing they were thinking in their head. But they just happened to look at you at the same time. You with me? You choose the meaning. 1 million plus successful business owners, they spend more time choosing a positive, empowering meaning than allowing their brain to choose a shit meaning that disempowers them. And the sixth core mindset that all 1 million plus business owners have in common is to focus on the one thing. And the wonderful acronym for focus is follow one course until successful, FOCUS. You go see any business owners that have broken through that initial barrier, got through the 200, 300, 400 mark and got to the million and gone beyond it. I can tell you one thing they all had in common is they just focused on the one thing. One of the biggest mistakes business owners make is they get all excited, they get shiny object syndrome, they get all excited about other stuff, especially when they have a modicum of success, they hit the first million or two, and their focus starts getting distracted all over the place. Stay focused, build the thing you're building, get it to multiple millions, then maybe allow yourself to go have some fun and some other stuff, but get that foundation built first. And number 7 core mindset that all 1 million plus business owners have is they face problems quickly. The scourge of a low performing business owner where they have a lot of problems in their business very often is they brush it under the carpet. They don't deal with the difficult conversations and the difficult things that have to happen. Listen, successful business owners all have this in common, and they have it in common for a reason. Something's happening, something's going wrong, they just get in and get it fixed. I can't implore you enough. Difficult conversations, someone underperforming, someone acting and behaving badly, please get in the habit of just getting it dealt with. Doesn't mean instantly. Something I teach my team, caveat to it, never respond while the emotion's high. You get a message from someone that upsets you and annoys you, or you see something that upsets you and annoys you, I wouldn't deal with it right then if your emotion's firing high on it. If you're pissed off and frustrated and angry at them, let that emotion settle. But once the emotion's settled, don't then leave it and either never speak to them, which is what a lot of business owners do, or push it back weeks. Listen, if someone's underperforming, if someone's behaving badly, just get it nipped in the bud quickly. Deal with it quickly, quick phone call, 5 minutes, job done. If you handle it well, 95% of the time, it goes nowhere, it's done, you've course corrected the person, you can move on and build your business. And that's why million plus business owners have that as a core belief and concept of how they run the business, is because if you don't, if you allow poor behavior and poor performance a lot of the time, then you're gonna have so many fires to put out, you never get to grow. And the eighth and final of these core mindsets that all 1 million plus business owners have, and this is a biggie, and it's my all-time fave, we call it CNEG, constant and never-ending growth. Listen, you don't get to 1 million and then build from there if you don't have the mindset where you want to grow all the time. And I mean you as the business owner as well, not just the business, because you will always be the bottleneck of the business. The business is always trying to grow and things are happening, especially if you've built systems and team. And then often it just butts up against the limitations of the owner. The owner always forms a bottleneck. And so it's imperative that you as the owner keep growing you keep reading, you keep being coached, you keep going to the seminars, you keep hiring people to teach you, you keep speaking to business owners who are further down the road than you keep absorbing that so you get better. And the growth of the business, obviously, because if you don't have that focus, you ain't gonna get to 1 million. Do you know in the UK, and I'm sure this is the same most of the places around the world, I think the US is the same and all over Europe, only around 3% of businesses ever go past 1 million turnover. 3%. Why? Because there's lots that are happy just to build a little small thing and stay, that's fine. But even the ones that wanna grow, generally they get to 200, 300, 400,000 turnover and they get stuck there. It's a very common place to get stuck. Why? Because to get to that level, it's just all about you. You go out, you do all the work, you graft, you grind, you do some things pretty well, you succeed. When you get to like 200, 300, 400 and you kind of stall out, when it's maxed out from what you can do, now you need to start handing work over to other people. You need to let go of different roles and responsibilities. Most business owners struggle with that because they got rewarded for doing everything and their ego loved it, and now they got to let all that go. It's really hard shock to the system. So if you want to grow, you've got to be growth-minded. All successful business owners are. They all have a constant and never-ending desire to grow and improve and learn and expand and evolve, which is why, of course, their business does too. There you go. There's 8 core mindsets that every 1 million plus business owner has. So if you're not yet at 1 million turnover, then just adopt those 8 core mindsets, watch your business start to flourish, and you'll have a great time. Hope you've enjoyed this training. If you want to learn any more from me, jump on my other YouTube videos and I'll see you there.